Don't hide who you are. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Angelica Underwood. I'm an expert in human development and learning. And my goal with these interviews are to lead through uncertain times, to give people hope, tools, strategies on what to do during a time of crisis. And with me today, I have Ray. Welcome, Ray. Thank you for being here. And it's a pleasure having you here. Ray
My pleasure too.
is with the birth of smartphones and the internet, marketing has become much easier. Animation and internet marketing, how to expert. Ray Karpuska, am I pronouncing it
Ray
right?
K, yeah, you can do
Yeah,
Ray K.
Ray K. He
Ray
creates
K.
high converting sales videos for digital business and entrepreneurs. Welcome, Ray. Thank you for showing up for our audience. And I just briefly, I mean, how did you begin this business? I mean, how did you become interested?
So it was actually I was in 2008, which is another crisis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had like experience in my country, and I worked as I loved computers and graphics for like a long time. But when I used to like work at TV commercials, in the studio. But then I left because of like searching for hope, love, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm living on my own from 15, and I had like at 19 I had suicidal thoughts, and really just like always look for that meaning of in my life, right? Like, who am I? And just really being okay with who you are, because you kind of like always the environment always showed you that something is wrong with you. So I was always searching for that. So I ended up basically in UK, in near London, and I used to like work in the factory, and I still had this dream, like I want to do something I love, but like how do I do that? Because nobody kind of no in-house animation studios ever took me. I carried a lot of CVs.
Mm-hmm.
And then one time it just had this idea. I think somebody showed me The Secret, and I really felt like everything anybody told me, like I was kind of wishful thinking, and having this just illusions of life, that
Mm-hmm.
actually it wasn't illusions, it was a glimpse of my future.
I love that.
And it's like, and really like I actually cried at that time, because like, oh my God, like every time I started like I believed that whatever they said was true, that I was hallucinating or something like that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
immediately I was like, okay, now it's time to change that. And what I did is like, okay, so I know a lot of things, and I know how to fix computers, I know to do graphics, I know to do but presentations, all of those things. Like, how can I get there? And this is where it really shifts, when you start thinking like everything you did in your life, that's your tools, right? It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter how bad it was, how good it was always like, especially if you have negative things about it, you cannot accept the gifts that that you received, right? So
Yeah.
it's really important to go back to your life, and whatever you have resentment to, you have to equalize it, because you cannot take the gifts that you have from that,
Uh-huh.
right? So
Right.
I had this, when I was looking for a job, just like maybe 6 months before that, I found a company that I was carrying, like really cheaply, but carrying the leaflets through the doors, right, for them. And I was like, immediately when I had like, how can I get people to see my stuff? Like, I know,
Mm-hmm.
I think from the idea to me putting a first leaflet through the door was 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Because immediately, like, oh my God, like I put, sit down on computer, just I wrote all the things I know, right? It was like,
Uh-huh.
pretty much everything. And then, my number, and I started putting it out through the doors, right?
Beautiful. Love
And
it.
then there was like 1 month, nobody. And then there was one person that really like stood out, because it was really like expensive, luxury house and all of that. And I was hesitant about for 3 weeks to put it into the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I like one time I was just like, okay, now it's time. And I put it in, and 3 days later he calls me. He says like, oh, we need a video, stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
animation or a presentation for. And there was a big company. They were doing war games for like, uh, Ministry of Defense and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
like war game simulations. And I did this, and I did in 3 days. I did the same amount. I earned the same amount that I did in the factory job. right? For
Wow.
me, so for me, it's like that's it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
quitting for 27 days. So it was some journey, but I ended up finding somebody the same way. I ended up finding somebody who was British Airways pilot, and
Mm-hmm.
also he was Tony Robbins plat member, right? And
Mm-hmm.
he saw the way I do things and approach things, and he basically invested in me. And the next thing, maybe a 1 year, maybe 2 years after that, he introduced me, because he wanted to push my like what I do. He introduced
Mm-hmm.
me to Joseph McClendon, because he got
Mm-hmm.
to know him,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the first clients I actually got was Joseph McClendon, doing stuff for him. And
Right.
then it was great because I created the videos for him in the seminar,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then I wanted to do like his YouTube promotions and stuff like that. And he said like, well, I showed to this Mike Koenig's guy who at that in 2008 he had like Traffic Geyser, which again platform like it blasted your stuff all over the place, and it was just video marketing, basically dominating video marketing. And he said like, well, these type of videos that you created, Mike said that it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, he's like, this guy is like trying to push my client off, right? But then because of the secret, I signed up on all the people's, all the teachers' emails. So one day I'm getting an email from John Assaraf newsletter, and he's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, so now we with Mike Koenig's, we're gonna do this about video marketing and all those things. Like, oh man,
Mm-hmm.
this is the same guy again, like, right? And then I catch myself, because I spent a lot of time in personal development myself, really like understanding myself, like, no, that's, I'm pushing away like the things I want. Like I'm seeing what I want, but I'm pushing it away. Like, no, how can I change it? And immediately I had this idea of I'm gonna go to Facebook and send him a message, and like, hey Mike, you probably don't know me, but Joseph McClendon maybe showed you the stuff about me. And
Mm-hmm.
Joseph he's the he's a black guy, and he's doing the UPW with Tony Robbins. So if you have
Mm-hmm.
a
Yes, I know.
UPW, yeah. So
Yeah.
just anybody that doesn't know.
Yeah.
And so like Joseph probably showed my stuff, and they're like, I'm doing videos. Do you need that? Something like that. It's like, yeah, we actually have three things, we want to do. And in three, so he didn't know anything about me. I didn't have much experience. And then in 3 months after that, I was in the same studio having the same almost interview with him, like as just saw, from John
Mm-hmm.
Assaraf. And then he saw again, like they saw the way I approach things,
Mm-hmm.
and they brought me like to work with Tony Robbins, with Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, Bill Glazer, Dead Kennedy. I mean, like and at the first event I met Russell Brunson, which I worked then now for like 10 years with him. Did all
Right.
these like presentations and introducing many of his products with explainer videos.
Mm-hmm.
So, and just really like to, I think the most important thing that the shift that happened was when they told me that the way I'm doing it, it's not gonna get clients, so it's not good. And I had to
Mm-hmm.
like find a way, or even the source that told me about it, like Mike was kind of
Mm-hmm.
critiquing. I was like, okay, I might need to work with this guy to actually understand how to do it properly.
How
So
to do
that's
it.
how I started. But
Right.
most people know me about like as a video guy, but
Mm-hmm.
really what I come from is wanting to be me, what I'm really all about, and being useful to the world, and
Mm-hmm.
also do it in a way that I can make money, so I can do what I love only.
Are doing, yeah. And there's a lot of people out there. I mean, if you're watching this and you're an individual person who feels that you have to hide who you are. I know you probably don't want to do a thumbs up or a little heart or say me, but I think it's important that you really acknowledge and become aware if you're hiding who you are. Because if you're hiding who you are, you cannot tap into that greatness, just like Ray has, and his life has transformed completely. You have to go back and look at the story that he just shared. If you feel that you're a person that's hiding who you are, kind of just give us a me, just quickly. And if not, then say who you are, great. Awesome. Give us one word. So tell me, like, I know that a lot of people hide that brilliant person, because I think what you did in reaching out to these amazing individuals that are well known helped you because you tapped into who you are, you know? So what advice would you give to people who are hiding and they're not really living their truth?
Yeah.
You
So I
know?
want to actually show you. I didn't have this one prepared, so that's why I was kind of looking into it. But are you familiar with the Ikigai principle?
Mhm.
Okay.
But you can
So
share it here. Mhm.
yeah. So basically, what and this is like everybody should like look at. I don't know what is it. Okay. This is my
Uh-huh.
right. So yeah, but everybody should be looking at Ikigai, which is you have 4 circles, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to kind of dissect it for you. So, and I'm going to add another layer that because I'm a visual person, like for me, it's really, you cannot really understand the 2D like
Mhm.
flat because it's a different, thing. But imagine those 4 platforms. So there's 4 pillars, and there's two inner game in the world, and then 2 outer world. All right. So the first one is
Mhm.
doing what you love. So doing what you love is really what it's all about for you. Like what are your values? What are you valuing the most? Because like this is what loving, because like that's where your attention, your magnificent and your intellect and everything is, because you kind of nitpicking everything you see. I mean, like I can go through your Facebook history, through your phone, through your GPS, and I can like narrow down who you are as a person, what you're all
Mhm.
about, what you reacting to, and et cetera, right? So that's what we really love. Now, the other thing is what we're really good at. And the only way you can be really good at something if you started as a young age. So the only thing you can bet on is who you are and who you developed as a personality, which is to adapt and survive in the environment we are. So maybe your parents were really strict, so now you're adapting to being in that environment, and you're thriving in being like really maybe like an office or high, like really like military or anything like that, you
Uh-huh.
like really really good at, maybe you do good at researching, finding out like about like how who they are, so you don't come like, for me, I come into a meeting or a room with strange people, like I'm calm, like I'm not talk. What
Uh-huh.
I'm doing is my mind is like, okay, this person did it, and I see the dynamic, and then I know when I can come in, because it's my like adaptation to survive, right? So we
Right.
really have to look at like what our personalities are, and there's a lot of tests. One of them really good one is 16 personalities, and another one I would recommend is Understand Myself by Jordan Peterson's like Big Five.
Mhm.
So, but when you understand like what type of person are you, are you a sky person? Are you a ground person? Are you really good at generating ideas? Or are you really good at doing, something that you don't want ideas, but just really want, core principles that you have to like, work and
Right.
develop, et cetera, et cetera. It's like a marketing and accounting, like, it's a good examples of, accounting don't think about like new ideas. They just like, okay, give me the numbers, I'm going to calculate, that's it. That's all I'm really all about, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So once you understand those, once you master this game, right? Let's
Oops,
go.
sorry.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. There it is.
And you
Mhm.
also can see, it's like, let's take a painter. So you love what you're doing, right? You love painting, and you're also really good at it, but
Mhm.
that's your passion. That's the passion, and it's inside of you. That's it. There's
Right.
no galleries accepting you. There's nobody, interesting to invite you, to talk about, except maybe the shows that talk about passion,
Mhm.
right? But the question is, the inner world. Now it's the equal side is the outer world. So how this what you do, the world needs it, right? And we
Mhm.
need to think about it like, if we take a drink, for example, and somebody says, well, this is amazing drink. Well, amazing drink is for some, maybe CEO of the company would say that, but for you it's like there's no value. It's like
Right.
refreshing drink, right? Energizing drink, healthy drink, right? That's what that's what we communicate. So we need to like also learn, and this is marketing side. It's like whatever we have, and this is really important thing is,
Mhm.
I spend so much time, let's say, by the computer, right? I know all those things. I like, for me, it's like da, 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 da. Somebody else doesn't, right? So now I have to communicate how me knowing everything about computers that I can, how is it benefiting the person who doesn't want to know anything about computers? So for me, it's like, look, I put together everything. All you need to do, because I know everything, so I figured it out. So all you have to do is just click the things I told you, right? And that's it. You're gonna get the result instantly, right? It took me 10 years. You're gonna do it in 5 minutes, right? So now I'm communicating, and this is marketing, right? I'm gonna show you how to do this. Like, and this is where you communicate how whatever you have, whatever you know, whatever you're really good at, is something that's valuable to the world, right? But then also then the most important thing is like, okay, people are coming to us and attracting us. So instead of us just giving stuff for free, right, or just helping them, it's like we need to do it. And this is where the sale and online sales come in, funnels and all of the other things. It's like, how do we do this in a way that is not consuming our time for free, but we actually get paid for that and rewarded for that? So, and this is what I had this conversation yesterday. It's like I know a lot of things, but like I don't want to come across as as being like, oh, look at me and I'm the cool guy, right? So so people understand what's the value in that, but also I don't want to so people come to me and like, oh, help me. It's like I want to be that guy, but also want to be rewarded for something, right? But then I also want to do it in a way that people don't think that I'm just money, but I'm doing it because I love it, right? So how do I do all of those things in in one place? So it's meaningful to me is really what I'm really good at, but it also provides value to other people, to the world, and I'm rewarded for that, right? And I think the flaw in this whole image, it doesn't capture, because it kind of shows like the purpose is really small in the middle. But think about like a chair, right? So you have 4 pillars that's that keeping, and the purpose is on top, laid out on top, the whole thing. I actually have an image somewhere, but this is what kind of visualizing, and I started to doing that. So the higher the purpose, the way you're gonna put your purpose higher, which is the highest purpose, is when you're gonna grow all your 4 pillars at the same time equally. Right?
I love that.
And for us, the most challenging thing for us is mastering both worlds. Because they're so like these, like it's like spiritual people and business people, right? And then it's like money.
How do you balance it, right?
Yeah, it's like money, but if it's small money is bad, but if if no money is again bad. It's like you have to have that balance.
And Ray, I think one of the things that happens is that people tap into what they love, and that spiritual self, is what you love, because it's the I am, right? It's the highest self-actualization. And then when you tap into your passion of who you are, and it becomes your mission, and you are charging, but you really love what you're giving, and you see other people grow and blossom, I think that should really help people. But when you don't charge for what you love, there begins to be a piece of resentment that begins to grow, and people begin to feel that they're not valued and that they're not worth anything. They don't feel good enough, and all these other emotions start to boil. So, I mean, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, can I share with that? All right. So first of all, is you have to understand that by looking at what you love and really good at, you have to forget everything else. Am I gonna make money for it, from it, or am I good at it, or like what other people are gonna think about? Like, you have to forget everything. It's really that it's an internal game only. Like, there's nothing else. So you have to really first of all think, what do I want, right? What I'm really good at, find out. Like, there's tests and processes that we use. But like, once you find that out, now it's all about like, okay, if this is who I am, this is what I'm really good at, and this is the time that you should be betting. If you need money, especially if you're looking to get money, this is the only time you should be betting. The most important time when you should be betting only on who you are, right? Because this is what you love, or you're really good at, right? That's how you're gonna get the most value, because for you it's easy to do that. and you're really good at it, and you're going to produce the results for somebody, right? So that's the only way. Now you have to only maybe introduce the marketing and sales side, right? But the way you build it out is by focusing on the four, or all of those four at the same time, right? Because most of us, because it's something that's precious to us, maybe we didn't make money from it, or we didn't do it. So for us, it's like this getaway place where it's like our Zen place. And we are really afraid of that somebody's gonna tear it apart, or the world's gonna step on it, and so now we're afraid, right? And the most repeated fears that people have is like, who am I? Like, why me? Why me with this message, right? Who am I? Like, nobody, like somebody's already doing it better way, right? All of these fears and all of the ideas, but like what you have is uniqueness to you, right? And you have to become, and this is the most important thing, you have to become your hero of your own story. And think about, like, especially because everything comes from up to 10 years. Everything, all we have, all the BS we're dealing with is all up to like 10 years. Everything is just repeating patterns. So we really have to look at the way we tell our story. So if I'm, for example, if I'm told like I was always like trespassing, and being naughty all the time and all of those things, like that's not my story. It's somebody else's story about me. I was like, no, I always had drive for life. Oh, like this is me. Now I'm where I am. This is me. It was just not, for my parents, for example, it just wasn't convenient to have a person like me, who's always asking what about life, always looking for improvements in any other jobs, right? And it's like you come in, it's like, oh, you have too many ideas, stop it. It's like, it was not convenient for them. But that's why I'm gone from that place. I'm here now because I was always looking for the way I am, right? And where I'm the best and all of that. And you have to tell the story differently. You have to really, you never see a movie where a hero's mother's perspective is more important than the hero's perspective.
I love that.
And the most
repeat it one more time, because that's like a golden nugget that people need to get. Like, say it one more time.
So
the mother's perspective.
Yeah, in the movie, you never see when the hero is down at the lowest point. You never see somebody's perspective as the movie perspective. You never see, you always are following the hero's journey, not somebody else's, what they think about the hero's journey. Right? It's like, the center of the world is always about the person. It's always us. And like for me, I was always had this negativity regarding when I said like I'm the center of the world. Because like, how can you say this, so egoistic, and like, no, it's like I'm the center of my world. Like there's nothing else, right? It's like now, there's no future and back, because it's always now. It's always continuous. It's the same. It's like wherever you go, it's the center of the world, and you have to make that as a hero, so you don't make mistakes. It's all about lessons. It's all about learning, and like you have to, I love Brendan Bouchard says like you have to become an upgrader of the energy. Absolutely. It doesn't matter what type of energy, you have to upgrade it.
Yeah, that's really good. And for those of you that are listening right now, make a comment, ask a question. We'll come back and answer it, or we can answer it now if you're live. But who are you? Have you found your passion? And then how are you combining your passion with your mission in life? You really need to connect both. And Ray is talking about it right now, on how you combine that passion with what you truly love in your mission. And then you make it part of your daily life, your job, the way that you reach out to people. So type below, who are you? And begin to have that reflection and that awareness. What we're intending to do is really reach out to many, many people. And we're asking that you share this because we want to be able to reach many, many people that might be looking for who they are. And maybe a word today that Ray has shared will be able to reach them, and it's going to tap into their soul, that deep part of them. And when they begin to ask questions, they find answers. And today the question is, who are you? So once you know that, go ahead.
And what you're hiding.
Exactly, what you're hiding. A lot of people are dying to be themselves in this lifetime. They're like wanting to come out, and they don't. And then they're miserable, they're angry, they're anxious because they're not living their purpose. So what do you have to tell them about that?
We only get what we give. And, there's a nice song. And it's really about like, whatever is happening, whatever you're attracting now is a result of the past, thinking and all those things. So in order to change that, if you really want to shift direction in your life, you really need to start broadcasting who you are and what you want, because that's the only way you're going to attract it. Right? It's like, this is what I want. This is what I want. Hey, and I have so many examples in my life where, the clients and all the people I wanted is like, there was I remember John DeMartini, he was coming in Lithuania to speak, and I wanted to get him like a, interview. And it took me 2 days and 6 connections to start. The first I started was posting on Facebook. Hey guys, who are connected? Who who knows any Dr. John DeMartini, or how to connect with him, right? And one of my clients is like, oh, I know my friend, he's actually into that. So I sent him a message, and of course, at the same time, you have to really understand how to sell, why they should spend any energy, right? So you need to find like how to communicate so they value it and they want to help you, right? But I sent to him a message. He's like, well, you could try his daughter because she's in charge of operation. He gave me her email, so I sent her. She says like, well, there's another person that's in charge of his schedule, right? So I sent to her, and then she organized everything. And so in 2 days, 6 people, 6 connections, boom, everything started from just going into Facebook and saying, hey, do this. Yeah. Another example, I was at the Russell Brunson's Funnel Hacking Live in 2017 in San Diego, and during the breaks, it was like 1,500 people. And during the breaks, I always wanted to ride in Tesla, wanted to try that. And I was like walking, there's a Tesla, standing. I'm like, should I do it? Should I not? Like, it's stupid if I'm going to post something like, okay, F it, I'm going to do it. So I posted the picture in the group in ClickFunnels. It's like, hey guys, anybody's with Tesla, I would love to, have a ride with it. If you could help me with this, like, and the first comment came in was, that's my car, and we had the ride. So I shared that story, and then the other people saw in the group. It's like, oh my God, like we wanted to also see. He had like 3 or 4 rides. They did videos, about it like that, and that we became like, every time I go to Funnel Hacking Live, I know those people, and I connected with them, and it was just about like me pacing back and forth, for 1 or 2 days, thinking, is this stupid idea or not? How I'm gonna look, or like, like whatever I feel, is it worth something or not? And when I act on it, and every single time I do this, every time I act on it, something great that I want, I attract. And my favorite saying, everything you want is on the path to your dreams.
It is. And you know what? Like yesterday we were talking about it in another interview that I did, is like, you have to face your monsters, You're afraid of opening up that closet and this monster coming out and scaring you. And that might be who you are. And you're afraid of who you're going to discover. Yeah. But I mean, what do you do? Because you were afraid of asking and putting this post out, and yet you did it. And then you had this amazing experience. Right?
I think great example is Shrek, movie Shrek, the first one, where if you look at it, the monsters, the Shrek, and the dragon, they're not what you think of them. They are, right? They, they're loving people, and they're capable of, but the thing is that we're so alienated from who we are because we adapted and we suppressed, who we are. and we're hiding basically from what people need us to be okay next to us, right? We walking on the tippy toes, and
Mhm.
like looking, being in a way that we just don't wake the monsters up. And that's
Yeah.
what we're afraid of. That's what we're afraid
Mhm.
of.
Yeah.
We afraid that, if I'm gonna be if the fear is basically is, if I'm gonna be myself, somehow it's gonna bring me bad luck, more negatives, and more pain than joy. That's all I
Exactly.
think that's the only thing we fear of.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's two paths, the pain or pleasure. And I think a lot of us take the pain because we're feeling, I'm going to receive pain over here anyways. So I might as well just go with pain and not be who I am. But then they have no idea how amazing they can be and how many people they can actually reach and help. So we're talking about, who are you? And that's the first question that you should start with. Who are you? And stop hiding who you are. We have Ray with us. He's an amazing person talking about reaching and doing what you love and connecting it with your mission and your passions to really combine it. So comment below, share this video interview with other people, because we want to be able to reach people that are
Yeah.
looking for who they are, and then being able to connect with us, because today he shared amazing tips on what you can do. So anyways, just to kind of end our call, I mean, I can go on and on, Ray, with this conversation, because it is my passion. Give people one nugget that they can do now, because we're in quarantine. I don't know about you, but here a lot of us are in lockdown, and I'm sure a lot of places in the world it's happening. How do we take
Yeah.
advantage of this adversity and turn it into our advantage?
Yeah. The fastest way to do something, and you can see in the title, I see like, don't hide who you are. The most important thing you have to answer to yourself is, what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
What do you really, really want? Because that's the only thing that's going to bring you everything you want. By
Mm-hmm.
knowing and broadcasting and start being that, right? So when they say don't hide who you are, is you have to really dig deep in who you are, right? Who do you actually are? So before talking with somebody, before answering something, give this 5 seconds or 10 seconds pause to really think, instead of doing automatic answer. Always think about, what do I actually want? Instead of me, it's like, I want to be polite. No, it's like, what do you actually want? Right? And that should be your rule for choosing and taking any opportunities that you have, right? So
Mm-hmm.
even in these times, right? So what do I want? I want to help people with what? I want to share what exactly, and then when you feel that this is the right thing, just take that step and do it. Share it, and you will never know, right? And you will never know what's gonna bring it to you. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that life will not give you all the 20 steps. Being able to see, you're not going to see 20 steps. It's
Mm-hmm.
only going to give you one step. But if you think that one step is only what it takes to give you, to get what you want, you don't understand life. Then it only gives you the first step to start the process, and you just follow
Mm,
the steps. That's all you have to do.
it's
Trust the process, follow this process, and take each corner one by one, because you
exactly.
never see around the corner. You're gonna know what to do next after that. Most people, because we are so keen to not enjoy. Can I have my minute?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So I had like I had such a fear of ocean and flying and all of those things. I never did it for like 10 years. I've been thinking about looking at them, like I never did. And then I was in the one training, and just unlocked me. So I went, like, I got skydiving license for like in 3 days, 3 jumping days. It's like,
Mhm.
now I'm paragliding, surfing, and just doing so crazy things and extreme things. And I was like, you know when I fly, I go up to the hill, and then I go down. I go up to the hill and I go down. Surfing, I go up to the waves, and I go down, to the shore. And I'm like, remember when you were a kid, especially in the snow, you would go
Mhm.
up something like a how do you call, like when you go down also, like, from
Like a little hill or
yeah, skis, or even in the playground you have those just for
ramp.
kids, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
ramp. But all you do is like just go up and down, go up and down. Everything else, if you look at it, is the same way. Business is really just about going up and then enjoying the ride down.
Mm.
And if you're not enjoying your life and what you're doing now the same way as you were enjoying and having fun in young days, you have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Because everything is about just having fun and enjoying
Mhm.
the journey, not the destination. I think that's where really you have to understand that by being and looking in the world like this, you're gonna have everything you want, because you're gonna bring that joy into everything you do. And people
Mhm.
love working with people who bring joy into what they do.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really great that you do enjoy life, that you're not just doing and doing and doing to do and be lost in the moment, of doing. I think what Ray is saying is that when you do something, like, love it, have fun with it, enjoy it. And right now I know you're home, but I think this is a time that you reconnect with the core of who you're spending a lot of time with, so that when you build yourself and you find who you are again. A lot of times people think of titles, Ray, like, I'm a director, I'm a leader, I'm a teacher. They think of these titles, and it's okay to go there, but you need to really chip away and go deeper into, I'm love, I'm peace, I'm joy, I'm happiness, because that's the core of who you really are. And when you find that, then that's your happy space, right? Don't you
Yeah, I
think?
think I think from Ikigai, that image, you can really see that, like, if you're director, right, you may be doing something you're really good at and you get paid for that, but that's a profession. It's
Mhm.
it's not combining what you actually love doing and how you do it in a way that the world needs it. You're just kind of fulfilling the position requirements.
Mhm.
But you really, once you look in your life from those four pillars, and you look at going more to the center, the more to the center, the more you're going to feel centered, basically.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Well, go
most
ahead.
important,
Mhm.
spend time practicing, not worrying.
Mm.
So meaning, whatever you need to do now, you maybe should be spending time practicing instead of worrying. Because
Mhm.
practice is gonna bring you some knowledge, some abilities, right? Some skills and all of those things. Worry is not gonna bring you anything except more worry.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
It's
it
going to
doesn't
keep
matter
them
how.
stuck. It's going to keep them stuck,
Yeah,
right?
and doesn't matter. It's and the stuckness is just repeating the circle over and over again, like the dog trying to chase
It's
its
tail.
chase. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're putting yourself down, and then you're trying and doing going watching and like, or buying courses or anything like that to go up, but then you do it back again, and then that's a circle,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And the thing is, you have to go spiral, because you only go spiral up or down. You never stay at one place, because it's just like, it's wobbling. So you need to
Mhm.
find a way just to go up, 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 and the more up, the better you feel.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
have fun the same as we talked about. Have fun in asking money. Have fun in putting your offers, what you're offering. Have fun in that.
Mhm.
Practice the fun, not the worry. Oh, what they're gonna
Exactly.
think, it's too expensive. Like, just have fun.
Just do it, right? Just do it. And have fun in the process. So tell me, how can people find you and connect with you?
So the best way to connect with me is either on my Facebook, which is Ray
Mhm.
K, or go to explainergod.com, which
Okay.
is where I show how to use video marketing to really communicate the message clearly, and also attract people you want, and charge
Okay.
whatever you want.
And if you can send me that little link, and then I'll post it under our comments. And what we're asking is, if you're listening to this interview, you have to go back to the beginning, because there was a lot of little nuggets that Ray shared today. And what we're asking is that you share this interview with your friends and families, because We're trying to bring nuggets to your home, ideas, some tools, some word that will help you capture who you are, especially with this interview. Who are you? That's the question. When you begin to answer that question, you will find the answers.
And what do you want?
And what you want. Yeah, what do you want? And then match it up with that passion.
So
So
what I
I'm
would
go ahead.
Sorry, what I would suggest is if you would put like what struggles, maybe what challenges you facing now, if you put in the comments, we can go through that, and I can actually, her or me gonna answer those things, and we're gonna maybe guide you to the right direction. So whatever you have, whatever you're challenging is, asking you shall receive. So it's the best place for you to just kind of, here's what I'm dealing with, or here's what I'm lost, or here's what I'm uncertain about. Put that in the comment, and then we can see, and then we can, of course, or us or somebody else will guide you to that place.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is for you not to be hiding anymore and really coming out with who you are. So if you have any challenges, like Ray said, go ahead and post it in the comment. If you know who you are, post it in the comment. If you don't know who you are, post in the comment and say, I don't know, but post something, comment something, and stop hiding. So again, this is Ray. You want to say your full name, Ray?
Ray K.
Ray K. Yeah. And I'm Dr. Angelica Underwood. We're going to post Ray's link so you can click and you can find him and connect with him. I'm Dr. Angelica Underwood, and you can find me under Angelica Underwood, and I have several social medias. That's where you can find me. And where I want to invite you to is the Master Manifester, where I help you turn your dreams into reality. So I will see you guys later, and you have an amazing day. Virtual hugs to all. Bye.
Be safe and have fun.